summer holidays. So I'm going to sort of tie in a little bit of what came out in that, as well as some of the feedback that we had from parents. I'm going to start off by sharing my screen, because one of the things that has been really lovely to look at is a video that was put together by one of our camp providers in the summer. Now, whenever I play this, I always manage to mess up the sound. So I just want to make sure that I'm actually going to be able to play the sound. There we go, share sound. Okay, so this is Warriors Performing Arts Academy. They were up in Stevenage, and their camp was all about teaching kids not only choreography, but also understanding wardrobe, costume, location filming, all the kind of ins and outs of putting a production together. And this is what they came up with.
Tens out, get your 20s out, get your 50s out, get your 5s out, get your 10s out, get your 20s out, get your. I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm the matter control. I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm the matter control. I'm a shopaholic, better take away my wallet, nothing in my pocket and I'm out on a roll. I'm a shopaholic, better take away my wallet, pockets got nothing and I'm out of control. Calling all shopaholics. Yeah, where the credit cards at? I'm a shop till I drop. Wearing out a hole in my new high tops. Rope chain swinging with my big gold watch. Watch me, wish she got a Casio, not a Swatch. I need to marry a man from Bel Air who can buy me the beers until the ladies is clear. Trying to get on the rich list with 3-figure digits like doctor. Is my purse anorexic? I hit the store to see what's happening. Clean out the shelves and leave with the mannequin. 80s queen, 3-finger rings. Yeah, I can do it all with a little loose change. I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm the matter control. I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm the matter control. Hold up. You need to hire a stylist. Thought you looked tight, but the mirror was lying like Midas. I got a rope chain, a dope chain. Girl, you been had, they must have gave you the broke chain. My wallet may be empty, but my closet is full. And I can't be a fashion victim if it hasn't been done. Let's go. Get your 5s out, get your 10s out, get your 20s out, get your 50s out, get your 5s out, get your 10s out, get your 20s out, get your.
And I absolutely love using that video, because I think it's something that just shows you what can be done at a camp, but also that's given them a really good platform to promote the next camp that they decide to run. It gives kids and parents a really sort of good overview of what they can expect to learn, what they can take part in. And it's there for them to use indefinitely, and we've definitely used it when it's come to trying to commission new camps to be run, trying to explain to parents what kids can expect. And it's just a brilliant marketing tool that's worth thinking about at the beginning of your camp in preparation for hopefully have being funded next year. So I just wanted to start with that. So one of the things that we saw over the summer holidays was that we had a massive amount of places, and if I give you sort of some of the statistics, Rob, it seems to just be you on the call now. We had 77,000 places available, 42,000 of them were booked, but only 25,000 spaces were actually attended. So there's a huge gap for non-attendance and essentially a huge wastage. And what we think is that, having looked through all of the information and looked at the customer journeys from clicking on the link, go through to booking and all that sort of stuff, there are certain points where we knew that we were losing people. And one of the things is, when you're offering up so many different camps, it can be quite difficult to know what it is you're looking for. So what we're going to say to people this time around is it's really, really important to be thinking about what the most appropriate title for the camp is, or what name you're going to give the camp, so that when it's on the activity finder, it doesn't kind of get lost in the melee of everything else that's on offer. Now, for you guys, I imagine you're in a fantastically unique position, because it's go-karting. You know, you are going to be the only karting camp, so you're going to sell yourselves almost immediately. And similarly, with any kind of visuals you use, all you need to put up is a photo of a go-kart, and that explains exactly what they're going to be doing. But for some of those sort of multi-sports camps, I think we need providers to have a little bit more thought about that, because otherwise, you know, multi-sports camps are 10 a penny, and people need a little bit more explicit information about what's going to happen when they get there. Similarly, we know that parents are quite keen on having a clear description of the activity. So once the kids get to you, what is it they're going to do? You know, if they're coming to Letchworth for 4 hours, are they doing 4 hours of karting? or are they going to be doing a bit of, I think Simone mentioned laser tag, and there's going to be some other sort of enrichment type stuff they can do. And the better informed parents and kids can be, especially knowing that some of the children that might be coming might have those learning difficulties where any sort of desensitization is really good for them. If they can come better prepared and understand what they're going to be doing when they get there, it's going to be an easier journey for them, and hopefully an easier experience for you guys working with them. That can go right down to food as well. If you know what sort of food you're going to offer, or if you know what sort of menu is going to be available throughout the week, even if it's not explicit day by day, just an idea of maybe the caterer you're working with or what they can expect to eat. All of that is really powerful in making it easier for parents to choose the right camp for their kids to go to. One of the things that came up again quite a lot is this idea of, do we cater for disabilities or don't we cater for disabilities? And again, with karting, I don't sort of understand what the parameters might be, but a lot of providers were concerned that, what do we do if we say we can't take people with disabilities? And we sort of said, well, that's okay. If you aren't promoting yourselves as being an inclusive activity that can cater for everyone, that's fine, as long as you're explicit about that and you explain the fact that you don't have that one-to-one support in place. If, using you guys as an example then, have you got certain disabilities that you can and can't cater for?
Not really, no.
Okay, so pretty much anyone could come along and try the activity.
Yeah, pretty much. We've had people that are partially blind driving around the circuit before, so
yeah,
it's not
yeah. No, that's brilliant. I mean, I think the thing that we notice the most, it's those kiddies that are coming along with perhaps ADHD, autism, perhaps more behavioural type conditions that some of the providers and coaches weren't really sure what they would be able to cater with, and knowing that sometimes these kids get very one-to-one intensive support at school and they couldn't provide that at the camp. So what we've said there is that just be explicit about what you're able to do, and that to contact you in advance if parents have got any questions.
okay.
And then also quite specific drop-off location information. There was one camp that was running down in St Albans, and the address and the postcode and everything about that camp took the parents a mile up the road. And I think it had been a bit of an oversight on the providers' information they'd given out. There was an assumption that people knew where this particular field was. So we've said, again, just be really specific. If you're within a leisure centre and there's other activities going on, do you need to ask for somebody when you get there? Is there a certain entrance that people should go to? All that sort of stuff that just might help a little bit more.
Cool.
We are putting together some marketing that everybody is able to use. These are just a few examples. So the poster that's over here on the right is something that Orla and I have been working on over the last couple of weeks. What we want to do is we've had this happy logo since Easter, so that is kind of building up a bit of a brand recognition. What we want to do is have some marketing for Christmas that we can just use anywhere and everywhere, rather than trying to layer it with, well, this is when it opens, this is when you can book it, this is the link you go to. We want everything to serve a purpose now, and we want to make a bigger use of QR codes as well. So what we've done is come up with some social media assets that you will be able to access if you want to. There'll be certain bits you can edit, so the information about the location and the date and the image and that sort of thing you can edit. The general layout will be locked because we want a bit of consistency and recognition, and then the QR code will be locked as well, because that is the QR code that takes everyone to the same place. So all of that it's started to be uploaded onto our website now, so you'll be able to start downloading those things as and when you've got your approval for your camp and put your marketing together. Okay. How do you approach your marketing for the cart track? Have you got somebody that does it for you, or is it up to you to do it yourselves? It's
done centrally from head office.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so this is something that if you're happy sharing with them, it will just help keep everything consistent. And as I say, they've got a fair amount of autonomy over bits and pieces that they can change, and they can make it bespoke to what you're offering. These posters as well, just so you're aware, we're going to be sending these out to every primary school across the county, an A3 and an A4, asking for them to be put up in school receptions so that parents can start to see them well ahead of the bookings opening. And what we'll do is, if they scan this code or they go to this link, the information that sits on that page won't obviously be the booking platform yet, but it will be clarity over who's eligible, where to get the codes from, all that sort of stuff. And we didn't release that link probably in enough time over the summer, because we were only going to fulfill it we were only going to populate it with the booking platform, but we've decided this time round that actually if we get people used to going to that place, and maybe they save it on their phone or they put it on their home screen or whatever, it should hopefully sort of pay dividends down the line. Similarly, this will also go to the likes of food banks and libraries. We're going to have little mini postcards made up, and every child, the county council have got home address information for every child in receipt of benefits related free school meals from years 3 to 6. So that's going to be huge. You know, we didn't have the opportunity to do that over the summer, so that's a good 20,000 door drops that are going exactly to the right families that we didn't have the opportunity to do over the summer. So hopefully we're going to see those bookings where there were such big numbers between spaces versus bookings versus attendances. That should narrow down a lot for Christmas. The last thing really was it's about this sort of ongoing customer service stuff, and this might be something that comes from your head office. So what we're asking providers to do is check who your participants are on a regular basis ahead of your first delivery date, because if you do pick up that there's any additional needs that you might want to talk about, or if you know anything that flags up that you might think, oh, that warrants a phone call to mum or dad just to ask a little bit more about it. And also to send email reminders. Now, the booking system that we use will send a confirmation email, and as part of the development work we're doing with Playways, we've asked them to make sure that a reminder is sent a couple of days ahead of the activity, which didn't happen in the summer. Also, to consider using text message reminders, but to do it using a platform. We don't want to say to providers, great, gather up all the phone numbers and stick them in your phone. There's kind of web-based text message reminder services that you can use if you want to. We will use one centrally to remind parents that there are camps happening the following day and that they've got to book in, but our information will not drill down to specifics. There could be, you know, up to 100 camps a day running at some points over Christmas, and we can't be specific on day, location, time and all that sort of stuff. It will just be you have a booking at a camp tomorrow. If you've got any questions, email us. And just that you can use the data on the booking form. If somebody's made a booking with your activity, you're not doing anything wrong by taking those phone numbers off and using them in an appropriate manner to remind them about the camp. And then just a little bit about customer service. If you find that somebody doesn't attend, it's always worth, and we do it as well, it's always worth just putting in a call or an email to say, oh, hi, we were expecting Leo to come to camp today. Hope everything's okay. Did you need any help knowing where to go? And then at least you know, if they're not going to be coming, that might be able to inform your catering for the next day, or if you know you've got a waiting list, you can offer that space out. It's all, you know, really straightforward stuff, but things that a lot of camp providers sort of missed over the summer and the Easter period. It sounds like you're in a really good position because you've got your head office to support you with all of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything that you want to sort of ask? Is there anything that you want to talk about just while we've got the time to do it?
Not at the moment. I don't think it's still quite fresh to me because I've not experienced it yet. So until it kind of happens, I think we're good for now. I think Simone's filled me with a lot of information. Okay. So what sort of role are you going to be playing then when the time comes? Are you there at Letchworth teaching them how to drive? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, brilliant. And then what are the other activities that are going to be run as part of the camp? We've got laser tag and we've also got simulator racing, but other than that, I'm not sure what else Simone would be looking for us to do. Yeah. Because I know they've done face painting and did they do karate at Birmingham as well? I believe. Did they? Okay. I think they did. So brilliant. She did mention, she said that it's quite easy for them to, I'm not familiar with the space, but she said it can be quite easy to draft in those additional sort of nice to have enrichment-y type services alongside what you're doing. So I'm not familiar. Have you got sort of big meeting rooms or something alongside? We've got a fairly large spectator area. So we've got a lot of free space, a lot of open space. Yeah. Potentially not as much as Birmingham had, but we've got enough. Depends how many people turn up. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Perfect. Well, in that case, we're probably done. This has been like the shortest one in history. It's just been me and you, hasn't it? Yeah, they must feel super confident about marketing their camps. So fingers crossed we get lots of full camps over Christmas. Thank you for taking the time to join us though anyway, Rob. Thank you for talking to me. No worries. Cheers then. Have a good time. Bye bye.